Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a closer look at the Lincoln Wheat Penny, a classic American coin that's been treasured by collectors for generations. With its simple yet iconic wheat design on the back, this coin was produced in the early to mid-1900s and can still be found in collections and even pocket change. Some are easy to find, while others are rare and valuable. Let's dive into the history and discover what makes the Lincoln Wheat Penny so special. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a notable example of mid-20th century American coinage. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is indicated by the absence of a mint mark beneath the year on the obverse side. The Philadelphia Mint was the primary producer of coins at that time, and its lack of a mint mark was standard for most denominations. The Lincoln Wheat Penny design is a well-known and historically significant series in the United States, having first been introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1948, the design was deeply familiar to Americans, and the coin had become a trusted symbol of commerce and national pride. On the obverse of the 1948 penny is a right-facing profile of President Abraham Lincoln created by designer Victor David Brenner. This design had remained largely unchanged since its introduction and continued to serve as a respectful and dignified tribute to one of the nation's most revered leaders. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase "In God We Trust" with the word liberty positioned to the left side and the year 1948 placed to the right. The lack of any additional mark underneath the date confirms its Philadelphia origin. This penny was struck during a time when the United States was transitioning from the aftermath of World War II to the post-war boom period, and coins like this one were heavily used in everyday life. The reverse of the coin features two curved wheat stalks framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design, also by Victor David Brenner, was chosen to represent agricultural abundance and the nation's strong connection to its farming roots. The Latin motto "E pluribus unum" appears at the top of the reverse side, which translates to "out of many one," and is a reflection of the unity that defines the United States. By 1948, this reverse design had been in use for nearly 4 decades and was a familiar image to the American public. It would continue to be used until 1958, when the reverse design changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial. The coin in question is described as having some rust, which is not unusual for a copper coin that has been exposed to moisture or less than ideal storage conditions over time. Lincoln pennies from this period were composed primarily of bronze, which is an alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Copper is a metal that reacts easily with oxygen and other elements in the environment, leading to surface changes over time, such as oxidation, tarnish, or even rust-like corrosion in certain conditions. The presence of rust on a 1948 penny may reduce its numismatic value in terms of grade and appearance, but it also gives the coin a sense of history and authenticity. Coins in this condition often show visible signs of age, including surface discoloration, pitting, and loss of detail in the high relief areas. Collectors refer to these coins as circulated, and although they may not be considered high grade, they are often appreciated for the journey they have taken through decades of use. A 1948 penny that shows some rust has likely passed through countless hands and seen use in various types of transactions, perhaps even in a time when a single cent held more purchasing power than it does today. These coins were used in daily life for buying goods, small services, and savings, and they represent a tangible connection to a specific era in American economic and social history. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 317 million of these pennies in 1948, making it one of the more common years in the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. This high production number means that even with some wear or corrosion, many examples of this coin still exist in collections across the country. While a rusted coin is not considered mint or uncirculated, it can still be a valuable piece in a historical or educational context. For new collectors, especially circulated coins like this one are often the starting point of their hobby because they are affordable, available, and full of character. The 1948 Lincoln penny also offers insight into the post-war United States. The economy was beginning to boom, suburbs were expanding, and Americans were returning to a sense of normalcy. The production of coins during this time was essential to meet the demands of a growing population and the expanding consumer markets. Every cent had a role to play, and coins, like the 1948 penny, were trusted tools of exchange. They reflect the simplicity of mid-century American design and the functionality that defined much of the country's approach to manufacturing and commerce during that era. For historians and coin enthusiasts alike, the 1948 Lincoln wheat penny represents more than just a monetary unit. It is a small piece of metal that connects modern-day individuals with a time of great transition and rebuilding in American history. Even in a rusted or worn state, it tells a story about where it came from, who might have used it, and how it served its purpose in the nation's economy. Its familiar design and sturdy construction also remind us of the enduring nature of physical currency in a world that is increasingly digital and intangible. Next up, we have the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin that continues to capture the attention of collectors and enthusiasts due to its historical significance and vintage appeal. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark for its coinage during that time. It is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909 and remains one of the most collected and recognized coin series in the world. The 1935 penny is particularly appreciated not only because of its age, but also because of its strong connection to American history and its enduring design. The example being discussed here is in good condition, which means it retains most of its original details and continues to be a highly desirable item for those who seek meaningful and valuable coins. At first glance, the 1935 Lincoln penny shows the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and was the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular issue United States coin. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase "In God We Trust," while the word liberty is to the left and the date 1935 is to the right. The absence of a mint mark under the date confirms that it was produced in Philadelphia. On the reverse side of the coin is the classic wheat ears design, which gives this coin series its name. Between the two stylized wheat stalks are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, along with the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. Even though this coin is from 1935 and has seen circulation over the decades, it is still in good condition, which adds to its desirability. Many of these coins were used in everyday commerce during the Great Depression, a time when even a single penny had meaningful purchasing power. Because of this heavy usage, finding a 1935 penny in good condition is relatively rare. Collectors appreciate such examples as they retain sharper design features and offer a more visually appealing experience when compared to heavily worn coins. Coins that survive the test of time and still look strong are always in demand. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1935 penny is its potential value. In some cases, coins from this year have fetched very high prices due to special factors such as striking errors, high-grade condition, or unique coloration. While the standard circulated versions are not usually worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, the market can shift dramatically when a coin possesses exceptional traits. There have been instances where a 1935 penny in excellent condition combined with historical provenance or error features has been valued or sold for large amounts. For this reason, the coin is often regarded with curiosity and respect. Some reports even suggest values reaching as high as $500,000 or more for the finest known examples under the right conditions. And in high-end auctions, people enjoy watching content about coins like the 1935 Lincoln penny because they are both educational and exciting. The idea that a simple copper coin tucked away in a jar or passed down through generations could be worth a significant amount of money is fascinating. These stories connect people to history and spark a sense of adventure in coin hunting and collecting. Whether viewed online or discussed among collectors, this coin has the power to engage a wide audience. Its age, design, and potential value all contribute to the public's fascination with it. Coins like this one also tell a broader story about the country and its people. In 1935, America was still dealing with the effects of the Great Depression, but there were signs of economic recovery. The government was implementing programs to create jobs and restore public confidence. This penny was part of the everyday lives of millions of Americans who used it to buy essentials and support their families. Holding a 1935 penny today means holding a piece of that history in your hand. The connection is tangible and meaningful, which is why so many collectors feel a strong emotional bond with these coins. The artistic design of the Lincoln penny also contributes to its long-lasting appeal. The clean and simple layout paired with strong symbolic elements makes it a timeless piece. Brenner's portrait of Lincoln is considered one of the most respectful and realistic representations of any president on American currency. The wheat ears on the reverse reflect the nation's agricultural roots and values of hard work and unity. Together, these elements give the coin a balanced and iconic look that never goes out of style. Collectors are always on the lookout for unique examples of coins like the 1935 wheat penny. This includes coins with striking anomalies such as double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet errors. These minting mistakes make certain coins one of a kind and increase their desirability and value dramatically. Even a small error can turn a regular penny into a prized possession worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on its rarity and demand. Stories of lucky finds keep interest alive and inspire new collectors to examine their change more closely. For those just getting started in coin collecting, the 1935 Lincoln penny is an excellent example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can hold great significance. Its combination of history, artistry, and market potential makes it a compelling piece in any collection. Whether passed down from a family member, found at a flea market, or discovered in a roll of old coins, this penny invites curiosity and respect. And for seasoned collectors, it remains an essential part of building a complete and meaningful Lincoln cent series. Next up, we have the 1980 Lincoln 1-cent coin. Without a mint mark, holds a certain appeal for both casual observers and dedicated coin collectors. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not include a mint mark, this coin represents a piece of American monetary history that continues to interest those who appreciate vintage coins. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the design has endured for well over a century, making it the longest-running design in United States coinage history. The 1980 edition, without a mint mark, is particularly interesting to many because of its clean, classic appearance and the nostalgia it inspires for an earlier era in American life. On the obverse side of the coin is a well-known image of President Abraham Lincoln. Facing right, this portrait was created by Victor David Brenner and has been used consistently on the penny since 1909. It reflects a strong, respectful image of one of the most beloved presidents in United States history. The words "In God We Trust" appear across the top, while the word "Liberty" is to the left and the year 1980 is displayed to the right. The absence of a mint mark just below the date confirms that this coin was struck in Philadelphia. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat stalks design in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The design was created by Frank Gasparo and includes a detailed representation of the actual memorial in Washington, D.C. If you look closely, even with the naked eye, you may see a tiny image of Lincoln seated within the memorial columns, which is an impressive bit of artistry given the small surface area of the coin. Above the memorial is the familiar phrase "United States of America," and just below that is the Latin motto "E pluribus unum," which means "out of many one." At the bottom is the denomination 1 cent. Coins like the 1980 Lincoln cent, without a mint mark, have become increasingly popular in recent years thanks to the growing interest in numismatics and historical collectibles. While billions of these coins were minted and they are typically quite common, what makes certain examples stand out is their condition, strike clarity, and sometimes unusual features or errors. Although a standard 1980 penny in good condition may not be considered rare, the attention it receives from collectors and enthusiasts has helped boost interest and elevate its perceived value in specific cases. In very high-grade examples or under special market conditions, values can skyrocket, especially when the coin is tied to historical significance or unique collector demand. There are stories and listings where a 1980 Lincoln cent has been valued or offered for amounts as high as several $100,000. While most of these high-priced tags are often related to error coins, with misstrikes, double dies, or uncirculated examples graded professionally at the highest levels, the general fascination with these coins is real. It is not uncommon to see enthusiastic collectors or sellers attributing a potential value in the hundreds of thousands when rare traits are present. These stories excite the public and attract attention from people who might have old coins tucked away in drawers, jars, or old piggy banks. The condition of this particular 1980 penny is described as good. That means the details of the design are mostly clear with minor were visible on the high points. For many collectors, especially those just starting out, coins in good condition are very desirable because they still retain much of their visual appeal and historic charm. A well-preserved Lincoln cent from 1980 can be a gateway into the larger world of coin collecting, helping new collectors develop an eye for quality, detail, and historical importance. Even if the coin is not in pristine mint state condition, its aesthetic and sentimental value remains strong. The cultural significance of the Lincoln cent cannot be overstated. It has passed through the hands of generations of Americans, used in small everyday purchases, savings for children, and countless transactions that shape memories. People enjoy collecting pennies not just because of their affordability, but because of the stories they tell. The 1980 penny may remind someone of their childhood or a time when a handful of change could buy a treat at a corner store. It may bring back memories of school coin collections or of a grandparent who carefully saved pennies in a jar. In addition to its design and historical context, the 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark represents the enduring nature of U.S. coinage. Despite being worth only 1 cent in face value, has gained a kind of symbolic importance through its widespread use and continued presence. It is also a reminder of how coinage can reflect a broader society that creates and uses it. In 1980, the United States was facing economic changes, inflation, and shifts in technology, yet the humble penny remained a constant in people's daily lives. There is always a chance that any coin could be one of the special ones worth far more than its face value. Some collectors are lucky enough to discover coins with doubling errors, off-center strikes, or unique features that make them exceptionally rare. For this reason, many people examine their pocket change closely, hoping to find something extraordinary. A 1980 penny in unusually high grade or with a minting anomaly might just be one of those lucky finds that reaches an incredibly high market value, potentially even as high as $700,000 if all the right conditions are met, including certified grading, rarity, and strong collector interest. Next up, we have the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is a widely recognized and appreciated coin among collectors of American coinage. As part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909, this particular issue was struck at the Denver Mint, as denoted by the small D mint mark on the obverse side of the coin located just beneath the date. The Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in United States numismatic history, not only because of its longevity in circulation, but also because of its meaningful design, which honors one of the most respected figures in American history, President Abraham Lincoln. The obverse design of the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny features a profile portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. This portrait was created by Victor David Brenner and was originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The design was revolutionary at the time because it was the first time a real individual appeared on a regular issue American coin. The obverse also includes the words Liberty, the year 1956, and the national motto In God We Trust. On the reverse side, the coin showcases the traditional wheat ears on either side of the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. This design was used from 1909 until 1958, making the 1956 penny one of the later examples of this beloved style. With a mintage of over 1 billion coins, the 1956 penny is not rare, but its value comes from its historical importance, visual appeal, and the condition in which it is preserved. A coin in good condition like the one described here indicates that while the coin has been in circulation, it has not suffered severe damage or heavy wear. Many of the design details remain visible, including the lines in Lincoln's hair, the contours of his face, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. The good condition of this coin makes it more desirable to collectors who appreciate well-preserved examples from this era. The 1950s were a dynamic time in American history marked by economic growth, technological advancements, and cultural change. Coins from this period, including the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny, are part of the daily life and economic fabric of mid-20th century America. These coins were used by millions of Americans for routine transactions, from buying a newspaper to purchasing a candy bar. Each coin carries with it a piece of that history, making it a small but tangible artifact of the nation's past. Collectors of Lincoln wheat pennies often seek to build complete year and mint mark sets, and the 1956 penny is an essential part of such collections. Because it is widely available in circulated and uncirculated conditions, collectors have the opportunity to choose examples that meet their preferences and budgets. The coin's copper composition gives it a warm, rich color, which can vary depending on how it has been stored over the years. A good condition coin may display a mix of red and brown tones, indicating some degree of oxidation, while still retaining some of its original mint luster. The Denver Mint, where this coin was produced, has a long history of striking coins for general circulation. During the 1950s, the mint operated efficiently to meet the growing demand for coinage in a booming post-war economy. The large number of 1956 pennies that were produced reflects the economic activity of the time. Even though the coin is common, its individual characteristics, such as strike quality, color, and level of wear, can make it interesting to collectors and historians alike. Beyond its numismatic value, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny serves as a reminder of the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. His image on the coin symbolizes leadership, perseverance, and the values of the American spirit. The wheat ears on the reverse design represent agriculture and prosperity, which were central to the country's identity during the early and mid-20th century. Though small in size, the coin carries significant symbolic weight. The good condition of this coin means it has survived the passage of time relatively well. It likely passed through the hands of countless individuals who used it in daily commerce, yet it managed to retain many of its original features. This is a testament to the durability of the coin's design and the care it may have received from those who handled it. Collectors today value coins not only for their rarity, but also for the stories they tell and the journey they have taken through time. Next up, we have the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin that captures the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike, not just for its historic significance, but also for its striking appearance and potential value. This particular coin is noted for its red shade, a coloring that results from careful preservation or specific storage conditions over the decades. Coins with this vivid red luster often indicate a lack of oxidation and minimal exposure to air, moisture, and human handling. A red-toned Lincoln wheat penny from 1958, without a mint mark and in outstanding condition, has created much excitement in the numismatic community, especially when such a coin is linked to a valuation of up to $800,000. This incredible figure inspires curiosity and appreciation for what makes such a simple object so fascinating and potentially valuable. The 1958 Lincoln penny was minted in large numbers with hundreds of millions produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins minted there traditionally do not have a mint mark, and that is true for this coin as well. Despite its high mintage, most of these coins were used in daily commerce and experienced the typical wear and fading over time. However, there are always a few rare examples that were preserved perfectly, whether through uncirculated rolls collector, care, or forgotten storage in a dry, controlled environment. When these coins retain their brilliant red shade, they become especially appealing to collectors who understand the rarity of such pristine examples. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right. This, designed by Victor David Brenner, has been used since 1909 and is one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The words "In God We Trust" are inscribed above Lincoln's head, while liberty appears to the left and the year 1958 is to the right. Because this coin was minted in Philadelphia, it does not carry a mint mark under the date. The absence of a mint mark is not an error, but a traditional practice from the Philadelphia Mint for many decades. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays the stylized wheat stalks, which frame the phrases 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat reverse was used from 1909 until 1958, making this coin one of the last of its kind before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial design the following year. What makes the 1958 Lincoln penny especially captivating is not just the year or design, but its condition and tone. A red shade in numismatics refers to a copper coin that retains most of its original mint luster and color. This is a highly desirable quality because most copper coins over time develop brown or darker tones as they oxidize and react with the environment. To find a 1958 penny in a brilliant red shade and free from marks or wear is extremely uncommon. Such a coin could qualify for the highest grades when professionally evaluated and graded by reputable services. Grades such as MS66, MS67, or even MS68 are rare and can significantly increase a coin's value, especially when combined with original color and flawless surfaces. The possibility of a 1958 no mint mark penny being worth up to $800,000 is often tied to very specific conditions. First, the coin must be in exceptional state, often graded at the very top of the scale. Second, it may involve a unique error such as a double die variety, where the lettering or design elements appear double due to a misalignment during the minting process. In 1958, a small number of such double die error pennies were created, and these rare coins are among the most valuable wheat pennies ever found. In fact, a 1958 double die penny in red condition once sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, which helps fuel the public fascination with these coins. Even though most 1958 pennies are not worth this much, the dream of discovering a rare gem keeps collectors and everyday people examining their change with interest and excitement. The appeal of this coin is not just about money. It represents a time in American history when Lincoln's legacy was honored daily by a coin that bore his image. People used these coins for everyday purchases, and they passed through the hands of millions. To find one preserved in near-perfect condition today is like uncovering a piece of the past untouched by time. It is a connection to 1958, a year marked by post-war optimism, cultural change, and economic growth. Holding a bright red penny from that year can stir a sense of nostalgia, the admiration for the craftsmanship and consistency of the U.S. Mint. Collectors and viewers are naturally drawn to coins like this one not only because of the potential value, but also because of the beauty and story it carries. A well-kept 1958 wheat penny is a reminder that even small, everyday items can become treasured artifacts over time. People often enjoy watching videos or reading stories about such coins because it brings the possibility of discovery closer to their own lives. It inspires a sense of wonder and the idea that something very valuable might be waiting in a pocket drawer or coin jar. In conclusion, the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in red shade condition stands as a shining example of how history, artistry, and rarity can combine to elevate a small coin into a collector's dream. Whether you are someone who has just discovered this coin or a long-time collector admiring its perfect tone and well-preserved design, there is no denying the fascination it brings. The potential value of $800,000 attached to this coin may be linked to rare varieties or extraordinary condition, but it speaks to the powerful allure of American coins and the endless possibilities they hold. Every coin tells a story, and in the case of this 1958 penny, that story is one of beauty, rarity, and enduring legacy. Next up we have the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a notable coin from the mid-20th century and part of a long-running and beloved series of American cents. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark, which was a standard practice for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint during that era. The Lincoln wheat penny series ran from 1909 to 1958 and remains one of the most collected and studied coin series in United States numismatic history. The 1947 issue sits in the post-World War II period, a time when the United States was transitioning from wartime production back to peacetime industry and rebuilding a stable and growing economy. The obverse of the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny features the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909 to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth. It was the first time a real person was depicted on a regular issue United States coin, which was a major departure from earlier designs that used symbolic imagery. The obverse also includes the motto of the nation, the word liberty, and the year of minting. The reverse displays two stylized wheat ears curving along the left and right edges, which is why the coin is commonly referred to as a wheat penny. The inscriptions include the denomination, and the name of the contrived coin in question is described as having a red shade, which is a term often used in coin collecting to refer to the natural color that copper coins exhibit when they are in relatively better condition and have not been overly tarnished or darkened by oxidation. A red shade on a Lincoln penny usually suggests that the coin has retained much of its original mint luster, or at least some of the brilliance that newly struck copper coins display. This can make the coin more attractive visually and can sometimes contribute positively to its desirability among collectors, although other factors, such as wear and detail clarity, are equally important in determining a coin's overall appeal. Despite being a common coin in terms of mintage, with over 190 million struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1947, each example tells its own unique story. A red-shaded 1947 penny that has circulated lightly or been well preserved over the decades carries with it both historical context and numismatic interest. The late 1940s were a period of recovery and adjustment for Americans who were returning to civilian life after the war, re-entering the workforce and adapting to new economic realities. Everyday items like this penny were a part of that era's transactions, found in pockets, cash registers, banks, and shops. Backhouse. The 1947 penny is relatively plentiful. It is not considered rare. However, coins in especially good condition, such as those that still exhibit red or red-brown coloration, can be more sought after than those with darker tones or heavy wear. Collectors often classify Lincoln pennies based on their color categories, which include red, red-brown, and brown. A coin with a red shade suggests minimal oxidation, which is significant for a coin of this age. That kind of preservation may indicate storage in a dry, stable environment or careful handling by previous owners. Even though the 1947 wheat penny is common, it remains a valuable educational tool and collector's item, especially for beginners or those building a year set of Lincoln cents. Its design is rich in symbolism and history and serves as an accessible entry point into the world of coin collecting. Additionally, the coin can be appreciated not just for its age or condition, but also for its role in everyday American life. During a time of great transformation, when handling or observing a 1947 red-shaded penny, one can reflect on the many hands it may have passed through over the decades and the wide array of goods and services it may have helped purchase. Second edition. plays a central role in a coin's collectability, and a red shaded example can indicate an early stage of circulation or careful storage. Even if the coin shows some signs of wear, such as slight loss of detail on Lincoln's hair or the wheat stalks on the reverse, the retention of original copper color can be a favorable trait. Red copper coins are often more visually striking and are appreciated for their natural beauty. This red tone may also highlight the raised design elements, making the features of the coin stand out more clearly. Collectors also look for striking quality and minting characteristics, such as how sharply the features were rendered during the minting process. A well-struck 1947 Lincoln wheat penny with a red shade can make for an attractive addition to a collection, even if it lacks rarity. Furthermore, some individuals collect coins from each year and a mint combination, and a red-shaded 1947 Philadelphia issue is an essential part of completing a full Lincoln wheat penny set. Next up we have the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is a well-known and appreciated coin within the long-standing Lincoln cent series. Minted at the San Francisco Mint, as indicated by the S mint mark, this coin carries historical and numismatic significance. It is part of the wheat reverse design series, which ran from 1909 through 1958 and stands out due to its iconic design and connection to American history. The coin features the classic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait has remained on the penny for more than a century and continues to symbolize Lincoln's enduring legacy. The reverse of the 1951 penny displays two wheat ears encircling the words 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat design is a tribute to American agriculture and prosperity, themes that were vital during the time of the coin's creation and continue to hold symbolic meaning. Above the central text, the motto E pluribus unum emphasizes the unity of the nation. The coin's simple yet powerful design makes it a favorite among collectors, especially those who focus on building complete year and mint mark sets. The 1951 penny was minted during a time of post-war economic growth in the United States. This period saw increased production and the distribution of coinage to meet the demands of a growing and mobile population. Over 90 million Lincoln cents were struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1951, making the coin common in circulation during its time. However, examples that remain in good or visually appealing condition, especially those with unique characteristics such as a strong red shade, are more prized among collectors today. This particular example of the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny is noted for having a red shade, which indicates that the coin has retained much of its original copper luster. Coins with this coloration often have had limited exposure to moisture or contaminants and have likely been stored in relatively favorable conditions. The red tone gives the coin a vibrant appearance that enhances its visual appeal and makes it more desirable to those who value aesthetics as well as history. While some red-shaded coins are uncirculated or mint state, this coin's condition is not specified as such, but the red shade still suggests a higher level of preservation than a typical circulated example. Lincoln wheat pennies from the San Francisco Mint carry a certain charm for collectors because the S mint mark adds an element of distinction and variety. During the mid-20th century, coins minted in San Francisco were often produced in smaller quantities compared to their Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. Although the 1951 had a relatively high mintage by historical standards, its value among collectors today is influenced by condition, eye appeal, and any unique toning or surface features. Red-shaded coins like this one typically command more interest because of their attractive coloring and relative scarcity compared to more commonly found brown or mixed-tone cents. When considering the broader context, the 1951 penny is a product of its time, reflecting the materials, minting techniques, and economic conditions of early 1950s America. The coin is made primarily of copper with a small mix of zinc and tin, a composition that gives it a distinctive color and weight. It also speaks to a time before the major metal composition changes that would affect the Lincoln cent in later decades, most notably the shift to zinc in the early 1980s. This coin has likely passed through many hands and been part of countless transactions over the years, from buying newspapers and candy to helping children begin their first coin collections. It has witnessed the daily life of Americans from the post-war years into the modern era, and now stands as a tangible link to that history. The preservation of its red shade means it has been somewhat protected through the decades, whether by chance or deliberate care. In addition to its visual and historical appeal, the 1951's Lincoln Wheat penny serves as an educational piece for those learning about coin collecting or American history. It introduces key concepts such as mint marks, coin grading, and preservation. It also encourages appreciation for the artistry and craftsmanship involved in coin design and production. The Wheat penny series is often the starting point for many collectors, and the 1951's is a common yet cherished part of that journey. Next up, we have the 1930 for Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is a fascinating coin that captures the imagination of collectors and enthusiasts across the world. Known for its vintage charm and historical value, this coin represents an important period in American history. Minted during the years following the Great Depression, the 1930 for penny served as more than just a monetary tool. It symbolized recovery, hope, and the strength of a nation slowly regaining its economic balance. The coin being discussed here is in circulated condition, and although it has passed through the hands of many Americans during its life, it still maintains a strong presence among collectors due to its age, design, and rarity. In some exceptional cases, collectors have placed a value as high as $300,000 on this coin when it meets rare criteria and shows standout features. This coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which at the time did not include a mint mark on its coins. The absence of a mint mark is typical for Philadelphia minted coins from that period and does not imply any error or flaw. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the familiar and enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. This design was introduced in 1909 and was created by Victor David Brenner. It replaced the Indian head cent and marked a major change in American coinage by becoming the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Above Lincoln's portrait, the phrase "In God We Trust" is engraved, while the word "Liberty" is positioned to the left of his image. The year 1934 is located to the right, and there is no mint mark underneath, which identifies it as a Philadelphia coin. The reverse of the coin displays two stylized wheat stalks on either side of the central inscriptions. These stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, and below them appears the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. This wheat reverse design was a staple of the Lincoln cent from 1909 until it was replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The simplicity and elegance of the wheat design makes these coins especially attractive to collectors who appreciate classic American art and historical symbolism. Although the coin in question is circulated, which means it has experienced some level of wear and handling over time, it still holds significant value for several reasons. First and foremost, it is a coin from 1930, for which places it at nearly a century old. The age alone adds interest for those who admire vintage coins. Additionally, because many coins from this era were heavily used in daily commerce, fewer examples remain in strong condition. Those that have survived in better shape, whether due to storage or careful handling, are sought after and can command impressive prices, especially if they meet additional rarity conditions or possess unusual features. One of the key reasons this coin can be valued at up to $300,000 is the possibility of rare errors or varieties. For example, some 1930 for Lincoln cents may exhibit doubling in the lettering or date, which is known as a double die error. These coins are extremely rare, and when combined with strong detail and original surfaces, can fetch very high prices at auctions or through private sales. Another factor that influences such high valuation is the coin's eye appeal. A well-struck coin with sharp details, even in circulated condition, can draw competitive interest among collectors and investors alike. Another fascinating aspect of the 1934 penny is its connection to American history. This was a time when the country was working hard to recover from the financial devastation of the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt was in the White House implementing programs to rebuild the economy. People carried these coins with them through some of the hardest years in the nation's history, using them for food, rent, and basic needs. To hold such a coin today is to connect directly with that powerful era and reflect on how far the country has come. Many people love watching content that features rare or potentially valuable coins, like the 1934 wheat penny. These coins carry stories from the past and bring with them the excitement of discovery. Whether found in a forgotten coin jar, a dusty attic box, or an inherited collection, the chance to hold something that might be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars is thrilling. Videos and articles about such coins attract attention because they stir curiosity and offer a chance to learn about history, art, and value all in one place. In the case of this 1934 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, its beauty lies not just in its design, but in what it represents. A coin that has survived for generations, passing from one person to another, continuing its quiet journey through time. Despite its circulated condition, it remains a treasure for those who understand the significance behind its worn surface. The possibility that such a coin could be valued as high as $300,000 adds even more to the fascination. This is not just a coin, it is a piece of living history, a snapshot of America during a turning point in its journey. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark stands as a piece of American numismatic history from the mid-20th century and reflects a time of economic growth and change in the United States. This particular coin was minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use a mint mark for its Lincoln cents. The 1958 wheat penny was the last year the United States Mint produced the wheat ear reverse design before switching in 1959 to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. As such, this coin marks the conclusion of a long and iconic chapter in American coinage design history and remains a favorite among collectors, both casual and serious. Obverse of the coin features the right-facing profile of President Abraham Lincoln with the date of issue and other standard inscriptions surrounding the portrait. The reverse side displays two stylized wheat stalks along the edges, framing the denomination and the inscription of the country. This wheat design symbolizes agricultural strength and national prosperity and was part of the original coin design created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design remained largely unchanged until 1958, when it was officially replaced. This coin had a high mintage and is considered common in the broader category of wheat pennies. Its significance lies in the fact that it represents the end of an era. Over 250 million of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, making them readily available at the time, and even today, many examples exist in varying conditions. However, not all coins from this mintage have survived in pristine form. This specific coin being described is said to be in rusty condition, which means it has been affected by environmental factors. Over timorist on a copper coin, like the Lincoln wheat penny, is often the result of prolonged exposure to moisture, air, or poor storage conditions. When copper oxidizes, it can develop a surface that looks reddish-brown or even greenish in some areas. While this rusting process can diminish a coin's visual appeal and numismatic value, can also give each piece a unique character and serve as a physical representation of its age and journey through history. A coin in rusty condition is generally not considered high grade by collectors, but it can still hold educational or sentimental value, particularly for those interested in coin preservation and metal behavior over time. At 1958 Lincoln wheat penny holds importance not just for its age or appearance, but also for its role in completing many collectors' sets. Collectors who aim to gather all Lincoln wheat pennies from 1909 to 1958 often view this final year coin as an essential piece. Even when a coin is in rusty or worn condition, it may still serve a meaningful role as a filler coin until a better specimen can be found. Moreover, the variety in condition among these coins gives collectors and historians a broad perspective on how coins age and how their environments impact their physical properties. Another aspect of interest for collectors is the possibility of errors and varieties. While the 1958 Lincoln cent from Philadelphia is typically straightforward and well struck, there are known varieties, such as double die obverse errors from the 1958 Denver Mint. However, these are rare, and the Philadelphia version without a mint mark is not generally associated with major errors. Still, examining each coin closely under magnification can offer insights into the die process and small irregularities that may set one coin apart from another. Coin's historical backdrop adds further depth to its meaning. In 1958, the United States was in the midst of post-war prosperity. Suburbanization was growing, new technologies were emerging, and the space race was beginning to intensify. People used coins like the Lincoln wheat penny for everyday purchases, and its widespread circulation meant that it was handled by countless individuals across the country. The simple act of passing this penny from hand to hand was a part of daily life, from buying a loaf of bread to riding the bus or using a payphone. When we examine a circulated and rusty 1958 penny today, we can imagine the countless transactions it was part of and the stories it might carry. From a practical standpoint, rusty coins can be difficult to evaluate in terms of condition and grading. The surface oxidation may obscure fine details, such as the hair texture on Lincoln's portrait or the subtle lines of the wheat ears on the reverse. Despite this, numismatists can often still determine general features like strike strength, rim integrity, and any major post-mint damage. While the coin in rusty condition may not attract those looking for investment-grade pieces, it still appeals to those who appreciate coins as artifacts of a bygone era. Additionally, rusty coins are often used for educational purposes in classrooms and workshops. They can be used to teach students about oxidation, metal composition, and coin conservation techniques. They can also help newer collectors learn how to handle and identify different types of wear damage and patina without the pressure of managing more expensive high-grade specimens. This makes coins like a rusty 1958 wheat penny not only collectible, but also useful as learning tools.